nice teacher. I don't like them to float around the arena. So write nice corners, that was not one. So try to write a good corner, Tracy, so that when you approach it, you make a little bit of a bend, you go through the corner, and then you go straight. Because every time I call it, if a rider avoids riding through a corner, that means the rider gives away one of the best training tools the dressage arena gives you. Because every time you're riding a precise corner, well-written corner, you're training your horse to go from your inner lane nice and straight forward to the outside lane. Your outside lane then gives a small half halt. That means a regulating 8, and then you turn. So your right leg has to keep them straight. Shorten a little bit your outside lane, Tracy, and keep the neck straighter. Bending doesn't mean turning the neck in front of the withers mainly. Bending means that the horse has a curve a little bit around the leg in the rib cage. The neck itself, you want to keep a little bit more straight in front of you. A slight flexion, that's correct. Then the neck starts to follow, and then the body has a curve. So you have to kind of think of it that way. So you don't want to keep the neck looking right, away from the straightness of the horse, Tracy, yeah? And you know, he has to just get used to it. Come up the quarter line now, Tracy. And then from the quarter line, I want you to leg heel toward the left. So, again, you keep, that is pretty nice. Don't turn the shoulders more. That's it. And don't turn his neck too much to the right. You want to keep the neck between his front legs, so that the shoulder is slightly leaning in the position. Yes, Eli, you do the same. That's it. And then straight ahead again. Coming out of the leg heel, and you go straight. Then you start flexing a little, using the inner leg to go to the corner. The inside rein takes and gives a little bit on the inside, so it's not just a constant held rein. It's a little bit more refining lead, I call it, so that the horse just curves itself around to be a little refining lead of the inside rein. So that it's not becoming a blocking rein going through the corner, it becomes a supple, elastic rein through the corner. And a little bit shorter reins. And even though she's horizontal, you want to feel that you kind of allow her neck to come slightly up, so that then you can ask and approach the pole position. If the neck is already horizontal, then when you ask her to give it a jaw, guess where she's going to go? Behind the vertical, of course. So you have to ride a little bit with your leg, uphill with your legs. Allow her neck to be a little up. I kind of like allow her to be proud. Allow her ears to be the highest point. Then one can address a little bit the jaw heel. But if you ask her to jaw the heel and her neck is horizontal to the withers, then you are crunching the lower neckline, which is her throat latch, and she will then just collapse. Do you understand? So you want to keep the pole a little bit more up. You want to keep the neck in front, and do it one more time. But think of short reins again. Let me tell you another thing. Long reins are not soft reins. Long reins are not nice reins necessarily. Long reins can pull harder than short reins. Short reins, you feel the horse much sooner, and you are able to regulate quicker. Long reins draw the horse, and the rider then ends up backwards with the arms behind and the hands in their laps. And that is really stopping the rider as well. Yeah? Does that make sense? So your short reins, Tracy, are able to allow the horse to stay in front of you. So when you have short reins, allow your body to be vertical, and allow the reins to stay in front of you. I call it, you have to find your home base. Your home base should be a little in front of the saddle, not behind the saddle. Yeah? Yes. And don't be afraid. A little dropping. Sit up vertical. Don't collapse yourself behind the vertical like this. Sit vertical. And you feel like the upper body sits straight up. That's it. Now we can lay on the diagonal. know how to turn the whip over the rivers. That was very well done, Tracy. So now you take it very well. The short hands don't go very much. Just keep your hands in front and go together. Keep your hands a little higher. Try not to think that you have to quote, let me say, don't even worry if she's round or not. Just worry about that your rate adjustment is correct and allow her to find that contact. Very good. And remember now we have another corner again, so right to the corners. Sometimes dressage training, unfortunately for you people, is like watching molasses running down the wall. But for the riders, it isn't. So, even walking like this takes focus, concentration, and make yourself feel where your horse wants to be. If he wants to drop down, the time you lay in, make sure your hands are forward, don't you? If you're leaning back, don't rinse. Put your hands by your side and tell him with your leg to come a tiny bit upward while taking a twist. Yes. And then follow with your reins in the wall. So your following has to tell him to come up, and your leg in the seat has to tell him, it's kind of like